You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean.
Victorious 89.1 WAKP. Your unity in the community station.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on the Powerhouse Radio station are those of the host, guests, and callers, are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers. The show, found on the Powerhouse Radio station, can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or conditions. Opinions stated by various contributors to the Powerhouse Radio and its programming are not to be considered as endorsed by the Powerhouse Radio station. Visitors are urged to use their own discernment to draw their own conclusion. We emphasize the importance of keeping an open mind.
You listen to the sounds of DJ Fourth Quarter in your ear right now. If you're in your car, if you're at home, if you're on your phone, let's gripe, baby.
Driving home and you're feeling kind of tired. Hey, radio play the same thing every day, so you need a little switch in your life. Traffic got you jammed up every night. Tune in to Powerhouse. Wednesday 7 to 9, you need to check them out. I promise I ain't trying to hype, but one good listen tonight, it might change your life. So what's the name of the show? You need something to just ride to on the go. Or you might be home, so log on. You can even dial in on your phone. I promise that you're gonna love it. Just try it one time, it'll blow your mind. Now I'ma say it just one more time. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9.
Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday, October 19th, y'all. October. OMG.
Hey, let's gripe.
Hey, let's gripe. Marcus, Mckenna, and of course your girl Tonia. We was MIA last week, but we back. We got so much to talk about. But before we get into the show, Mckenna, Marcus, what y'all think about this, Cole? Where did it come from?
Man, listen. I had already purposed in my heart that there would be no heat before Thanksgiving. I said I will make it to Thanksgiving, and then after that, the heat can come on. However, the way that Jack Frost showed up, although I didn't turn on the thermostat, I did turn on 2 space heaters. I was like, listen, we shall not be cold in our own dwelling on purpose. So there's one right down here beside me. And yeah. So what's interesting is Seattle had unprecedented 80-degree weather just like 3 days ago in Seattle. And they're never in the 80s in October.
So that's what I was going to get in, because right now what they're saying is that it's shifted. So the South, the weather that we have, do you know yesterday we were 51, Maryland and New Jersey, New York was higher than us. Florida and Georgia was cold yesterday and even this morning, like in the 40s, colder than the Northeast. So even with what Mckenna's saying with the mountain areas and even the, what is that considered, the Midwest?
No, that's specific. That's all.
Yeah, that's a specific time. Well, that area, so like it's shifted. So what we're getting, usually the colder climate that states that usually get cold fast is switched on us.
What y'all think that mean?
So that's what they talk
do y'all
about,
feel like we're going to have a cold winter? Or do you think it's just going to be this week and then next week it's going to bounce back to something that's more October-like?
No, I think we are going to have a really bad cold winter.
I don't know nothing about no weather.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
I had to turn on the heater itself. like the thermostat, because when you have tile floors,
oh
yes, you got to turn on the heater. So I had to turn it on, and still had to plug up some of those space heaters in some rooms, because I was like, okay, I'm not going to no 75s and 74. So I kind of just said, okay, 70. But you know, here in Georgia with these one family houses, you know, all the space. So I had Mckenna. I had to turn on the thermostat. So Marcus,
So did you wear your socks? Did you have on your socks?
Socks, hoodie.
Okay. Okay.
Took out my long johns.
Really?
Yeah, it can be cold up in here now. It can be cold now.
No.
Is that baby warm over there? Let me ask you that question. Is that baby all bundled up? What's the temperature like over there?
That's what I'm about to ask him.
68.
Yeah, that's what I set my thermostat at. 68.
That's a little nippy. You have a space heater?
No.
He turned the heater on. He turned the heater on.
Yeah, I turned the heater on.
Okay.
68. I'm good. Yeah.
Look, he got on short sleeve. Look at me.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just wondering, are your peoples good though, or are they around there bundled up?
Yeah, everybody's good, man.
Okay.
Everybody's good.
They're gonna have to accept. Look, listen, we try not to get a high gas bill yet. Did you?
It's gonna be high anyway.
So for all who was listening, if you haven't done it already, and if you pay for natural gas, call them so you can get a fixed rate. Because as it continues to get colder, those rates are going to go up. So lock that rate in now. That message was brought to you by Tonia. That's Gripe, the Powerhouse Radio. I'm just saying, because it's going to be cold.
Mm-hmm. And even that fixed rate electric is going up. It's going up. They've already reported that the price of electricity and gas is a 30% increase and 40% in some places from last year. So yes, what Tonia said, if able, go ahead and lock in that fixed rate, because at least you know what to budget for every month. It's going to be the same. Even if it's a little higher for the next 12 months, you'll know it'll be exactly the same for 12 months, and you can budget accordingly.
It is true. I live by it. I take care. I do it every year. I lock it in, so you know exactly what your bills are every month.
Yeah, but what are your bills after that?
It's locked in for 12 months. And then at the end of the 12 months, they'll go back and adjust your average. So if it was under, then the next 12 months, they'll reduce it. If you use more than they thought you would use, then they'll adjust it higher for the next 12 months. So they do average.
So it doesn't accumulate?
No. So for example, let's say you have Georgia Power.
Correct.
And they have your 12-month average. So they'll go through your previous 12 months and they'll average it, and they'll say, okay, well, the MG family, we're going to give you a flat rate of $150 for the next 12 months. And then at the end of those 12 months, they'll do an average to see, okay, was it really true to $150? If so, you'll get to keep your $150 for the next 12 months. Or maybe you really only used, $80. So they might drop it down to maybe $90 for the next 12 months. But if, let's say, you averaged $150, but then you had, 2 other families move in, and it was actually $300, then that next year they will uptick it to $300 per month. But it's flat, so at least every month it's going to be the same amount.
I live by it. What she's saying is correct, and it doesn't go up, like it doesn't jump, say, from 200 to 300. They might add, depends on how you use it, but it average out, because remember, in the winter you're not using the electricity, because remember the it just depends on if you have gas and electric. So if you have gas, that's for your heating, so it balances out in the summer, because that's the same thing. Because I remember my mom, her gas bill during the winter was like almost $300 a month, and the summer $34-40. So when I got her a locked in rate and the flat bill, her bill was like $80 every month, winter through summer, because it averaged out, and her bills was coming to, like, the last time I was like, oh my god, $274. Wow. That was the highest that it gotten regularly, and I was like, okay, we got to get you on a plan. And when I went through it, like I said, it was like $80. That's with taxes and everything. And like I said, the summer balanced it out, and that she didn't have to. I think the next one went up probably $20. That's still better than paying $200+ in the winter for those winter months. So
maybe I need to look into that then.
yes, you do. For your gas and electricity. If you're with Georgia Power, they do have budget billing. And anyone that's listening, if you receive Medicare, not Medicare, excuse me, Medicaid or SSI, they have a program. The government have a program where you can get $30 off your internet every month. So there's a lot of stuff out here that you can take advantage of. So you can actually budget, especially for people who was on a fixed income. So, just take a look into that to help costs, because right now everything has went up so high that you're deciding if you're going to pay a bill or buy groceries. And it's been a minute that anyone had to make those decisions. So I guess that's our gripe. I'm just saying.
Well.
So, I don't know about you guys, but have y'all started Christmas shopping? Marcus, I want to hear it. We know Thanksgiving coming. Oh, so Kim says, hey y'all, as for me in my household, we have fixed rates, and it's on 71 for about a week now. Oh, you done turn on the heat a week already? Okay,
well,
Kim,
I guess
I
when you have,
I had to turn it on yesterday. I had to do.
When you have fixed rate, I guess it's a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
Because I turned off the AC like maybe about 3 weeks ago, but I didn't need any heat. But definitely, yesterday morning I said, "Oh, it's time for the heat." So once the heat comes on, no more sandals for me and no more short sleeve for me.
Okay.
Really?
So even if there's an 80-degree, I'm still not wearing sandals. No.
Oh, I'm not wearing sandals.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Open-toed.
Because us women are different, okay?
I see.
Open-toed shoes are coming to an end. I hear what you're saying, Tonia. Yes.
To an end.
And if you didn't get to wear that one last pair of sandals that you only wore one time, they'll be there for next year. And hopefully you still like them next year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So of course we missed some things last week. How about so did we hear that Tasha K done relocated to Africa for real? I think we mentioned that on the last show.
I think we did. Yeah, I think we did.
But she really did. She really low. I mean, dang.
I mean, when you don't want to pay, hey Carolyn, you just don't want to pay. And people do all kinds of things to avoid paying, right? Like disappearing acts. Some people even quit their jobs. So there are a lot of things that people do when they don't want to accept responsibility for debts that they have incurred. And this one, she didn't actually incur the debt. She was ordered to pay this debt. And it must feel real uncomfortable to have to come up, what is it, 4 million or 2 million? Remind me of what it is.
I think it's 4. Is it 4 million?
I think it's 4.
Go back
4 million.
Yeah. So and that's what she meant when she said she not paying nothing, that she ain't got it. That's what she meant when she said she ain't got it and she ain't paying. That's what she meant by that.
We've all had those cousins or friends where maybe we loan them, and we've talked about we don't loan money at this stage. If I give you this $100, then this $100 is in your hand, and if I see it again, that's nice. But I understand how this works. But before you get to that place, how you give out the $50 or the $20, and then you try to be like this collection agency, and you go back and say, "Hey, Tony, it's Friday. What's up with my money? Oh, girl, something came up. I don't have it." But then you see people, because we're in this digital world, posting that they just went to brunch. And we know brunch is $50 anywhere you go in Atlanta, right? By the time you eat and have a bottomless mimosa. But that's not this situation. This situation is Miss Lady is just saying, I don't have it. Like, I'm not trying to pay this debt. So it's going to be interesting to see how this debt is repaid. And if there's any seizure of assets that occurs to get this money back into the bank.
She didn't have any, right?
I mean, there's rumors that she moved some money around to some foreign bank accounts. So I don't know. Mm-hmm.
Well, she's gonna have to pay some way, somehow.
I guess we'll see. Story
See,
time.
and what's crazy about this stuff is that the government, when it comes to situations like this, just going to talk about child support. Okay. You don't pay your child support, where you go?
Where it look like I'm at.
Right. So
good one.
So for these people that are made to pay, all this money when they get sued and stuff, and they just get to, hey, look, if you can't find it, I ain't gonna pay it.
Well, there's processes for that. So what'll happen is they'll go back to court. Maybe a payment plan will be set up. Because Cardi B is adamant about getting her coins, she'll spend money just to make the point. She'll spend money to go back to court to have her bank accounts and all of her assets audited. You can do an audit of somebody's assets. You just have to go back to court for that. And then the judge could order that your assets be liquidated to rectify or satisfy this debt. So, we could go to court MG and I'm like, okay, you don't have the money. Okay, well, you have a 2017 something. Let's go ahead and sell that and get about $17,000 for that. So we'll go ahead and get that money from that. And maybe you have, I don't know, I saw you on Instagram and you look like you had on a necklace that was worth $4,000. So let's go ahead and get that. I mean, Cardi has the time, the opportunity, and the petticoat junction to just play this all the way out just because she can.
Hi, Miss Butterfly.
Hey, Miss Butterfly.
Exactly. She's trying to prove a point. Don't play with my name, especially not on my name like that. That's what she's saying. And then, like you said, the whole thing is that people have to be held accountable for the things that they do. So
speaking of accountable, let's switch gears a little bit. Did anybody watch this Herschel Walker Warnock debate last Friday?
No, but I heard so much about it. Go on and fill us in.
Listen. Okay, so I wasn't even in Atlanta last week, but I remember that it was coming on. So I was fervently searching on my phone to see how I could actually watch it. And I will say it was an interesting debate. And Herschel Walker has been, I will say programmed. Like he sounds so programmed. And it's really sad. And I think I shared a TikTok video about, another person's interpretation of who he is. But it was really interesting how he flashed this fake badge. And I think it really got social media up in this uproar. Like, are you really out here still propagating that you're a law enforcement officer? Because there are things that people believe that aren't true. And he was like, see, I am a cop. I've got a badge. So,
but did you hear what he said about that badge? A police officer gave him the badge.
It to him.
You ain't no officer, though. You was not sworn.
Mm-mm.
You is not a peace officer. So why he's not in jail for impersonating a police officer?
Questions
because
that need answers.
Because he's the rump supporter.
Is
that why?
You want to rump with me?
Does it sound like he's a rump supporter?
Well, Rump is his friend. Mm-hmm. He said that on TV, and he said that multiple times that Rump is his friend. Okay, but to that point, early voting has started. So to all of our listeners, we know that you're registered to vote because we've talked about voting before 2 years ago. So make sure that you check out the polling areas that you are eligible to vote in. Most of the polls are like 7 to 7, Monday through Friday. I like to vote on election day. That's just my personal preference. But I encourage people to early vote so that you don't forget or you don't get stuck at work, that you get there and you're in the wrong place. It really gives people the opportunity to work out some of those kinks that will come up unexpectedly. And So I encourage people to go ahead and get a sample ballot so you know who's on the ballot in your area. Do a little research before you run out to the poll. You know, ask a few questions, go to people's Facebook pages or their political pages to see, you know, what their platform is. Educate yourself. There's plenty of information out there. If you don't know who these local people are that might be running in your area, you have time to pull that sample ballot out and get some information about them.
Yes, Mckenna said that lovely, and please, and that's not only in Georgia. There's other states that have these elections. You guys, please go out and vote. You know, educate yourself. Please vote, because this is serious. It's not even about the prices of gas, food, and etc. Because it's here. It's here. However, these people who are running has no morals, no ethics, no respect for others. Do you really want them to pass laws? Already they are the biggest one. We talked about this before. Women's rights. Someone could tell you what to do with your own body. Next minute, they're going to be able to tell you what you can do in your house. So please go out there and vote, because some of these people, they are straight up idiots with a capital I. And I said it, that I did. So just go out and vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but if you're not an idiot, you're going to vote right. I'm just saying, you're going to vote right. And on that note, hi, Elaine. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, saying hi to us, popping in, letting us know you're here. Thank you so much. Go ahead and like and share. Let's gripe. Carolyn said, have y'all seen those arrests that they are making in Florida, saying that the PPP, what is it? The people voted, but they were not eligible. They were ex-felon and they have served their times and were eligible. I did see that.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that, a small snippet. So this is, you know, that Florida governor. He's a rumpster, and he's trying to prove a point that, you know, he's going after fraudulent voters, except for the people that he went after actually had served their time. And so people are really pushing back because they're saying that this is a publicity stunt, that he's really doing this to make a political statement, that he's off base, that he targeted a certain type of criminal because he felt like people wouldn't have compassion for a certain type of criminal. So there are all types of measures that are being explored, you know, in Florida to the validity of his attempt. And even one of the police officers said, I've never had to make an arrest like this before. Like, I was confused myself when the warrant came across my desk and I had to go find this person. So even law enforcement officers are saying, WHUT, like what and why. So, I mean, just another thing to be aware of, that, you know, as you mentioned, there are these politicians that are pulling political stunts to prove a point, to align with their base, but really don't serve the purpose of the people or justice. And it's very disappointing and disheartening, because now you have people who legitimately, I mean, there were people in Florida who legitimately served their time, checked their name on the Secretary of State website to ensure that they legitimately had the right to vote, went ahead and voted, and now they're being targeted because people are saying that they were eligible. But I did all of the steps that were available to me to make sure that I could vote. If somebody else somewhere didn't do their job, that's not my fault. You know, don't come for me and try to arrest me, because when I went to your website, the state of Florida, it said I was eligible. So there are people that are really speaking up against this, and it's just a shame that this is another example of how powerful the vote is. Like, you are spending resources to find 12 people, and you are sending paperwork to, you know, law enforcement's desk and using manpower to go out and track these people down, because people are remembering how powerful the vote is. So that speaks volumes. That really should energize people to say, you know what, every eligible person that I know, I need to make sure that not only are they registered, but they know when election day is and that they're committed to going to vote. Because if voting wasn't powerful, you wouldn't have Petticoat Junction out here looking for 12 people to make examples of.
Marcus, you got
Yes.
anything to say about that?
Mm-mm.
He's like,
No,
yes.
no, I don't. I think McKenna said it all, man. I think we talked about this last week about the power of voting, and it's a perfect example that you can see, not only, of course, in the state of Georgia, as we talked about Herschel Walker last week, but in the state of Florida, who for the past their governor race was, I think, kind of close too, along with ours with Stacey Abrams and Kemp too. And so, when I thought for sure in the state of Florida, I thought for sure the other guy was going to win. Um, Obviously, that wasn't the case, and this guy's done a lot of things to prove and show his power in the state of Florida. And I just don't know about the state of Florida in general. Going all the way back to the district attorney, I guess in Sanford for the Trayvon Martin situation. Um, I just don't know about the state of Florida. I don't have very much faith. Certain parts. I mean, there's certain parts that do wonderful, but in general, when it comes to government on a statewide level, just don't have very much faith in the state of Florida.
All right, so you see what Miss Butterfly said. She said that there's a and I think I heard that story with the Republican who's running in North Carolina. She tried to run her ex-husband over, bashed the radio over his head, and punched her daughter in the face and sent her to the ER. Yeah. And instead of voting for her, I said, why wasn't she arrested? So she's running, and I think what she was saying, she's the best candidate, but she's also a rumster, y'all. She's a rumster. They're all over. Even now, I regret giving Dr. Oz my ratings. I used to watch him, and I did not know he was a rumster. He is so, but see, you never know. Like I said, because the rumster came out, a lot of people show they true colors, because he is something else. He is something. He's running for one of the seats. I think it is in Pennsylvania, and he is so horrible. And I never expected that from him. It's
What
just like,
what
wow.
what Trump did was lay the blueprint. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Trump initially cared about Republican or Democrat, but
He didn't.
right,
He didn't, because he
but
said
he
if he
understood.
ran, he was going to run as a Republican because they stupid,
Yeah,
and they still
and so
voted him in.
right, and he's proved a point. So that's why you get people like Herschel Walker, because and the lady in North Carolina, it doesn't matter what you do as a Republican, they're going to vote for you anyway. You could be a whole murderer up there, a terrorist maybe, and they'll still vote for you because you're a Republican.
It's horrible. Hi, Madonna. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible, but it's also like, how do you, especially for parents who are raising young children, how do you tell them not to do something, but they see these grown adults doing it, and in office or in some kind of leadership? How do you tell them that when you go to school, whatever you do not touch a young lady, one of your classmates? Do not touch them. Do not say anything disrespectful for them. That's harassment. But here it is. You had a former president would say, grab them by the pee. You see what I'm saying? He was never held accountable for that. Instead, he won. And then on top of that, he had a tantrum to turn over leadership to someone else, that he literally tried to overtake the government, and by using the other idiots to do it for him. So how do you tell these children what's right and wrong?
You give them a checklist. Are you a billionaire? No.
Oh,
Are you a politician? No.
okay. And
Um,
We're gonna
Does your
use
family
the race card.
does your
Y'all
family
use the race card.
does your family have old money? No. Then you can't do what they do.
Oh, you said old money?
Yeah.
Old money. Yeah.
Yeah.
None of this new money. They
Nah.
need to. Oh, right. Yeah.
If
And
you
what's
have
the
those
color of your skin?
qualifications,
What's the color of your skin?
right.
Right.
If that ain't you, you get your butt in there and do what you're supposed to do.
Do you have friends that are lawyers?
Right.
Right.
That would take the fall for you.
Right.
Because if you saw Michael Vick couldn't get his folks to take the fall for him.
Nah.
He didn't have old money, did he?
Nope.
He had some new money, and new money is not the same as old money.
Not at all.
They
No.
turned on Joker.
Mm-mm.
Nobody in the house
I
took
want
the
to know if
charge.
he's still friends with any of those, because
I wouldn't be.
I wouldn't be neither.
I doubt he is, man. I
Because
doubt
they
he
could have
is.
took the fall and go serve a couple of, probably about 24 months in jail. I took care of you and your family. I mean,
I think it was understood. Like after I went to prison, I think it's just understood that that relationship had a cease and desist order to it. Like when I come out, I'm going to have to rebrand myself, which he did. He apologized to everybody he could possibly apologize. He did all kind of community service and PETA and them. He did all kinds of things, and then he made it back, to the NFL in the form of being an analyst and a sportscaster. And so I'm sure all of that required him to sever ties with. I don't even think he could own a dog for so many years after that incident.
He could get a cat. Cats are good too.
What about a tiger?
What?
A tiger.
What? Men can't have cats.
You can have whatever you like. whatever tickles your fancy.
You can have whatever you like. Speaking of whatever you like, how's T.I. and his people doing over there? I know he was in the news a couple of weeks back, but his
He had that fight with the guy, man. I don't know if we've ever talked about this guy, Charleston Heston, Charleston. Is it Charleston? What is his last name? I forget what it is. But he's a guy that's on the internet. He's a character on the internet too, which he said several times. But he makes a lot of people mad and upset. Well, a lot of rappers and street dudes, because he talk about it bad too. He tell them and say, look, how y'all people. Because T.I. son been kind of, I don't know. I guess you try to take on the persona of your father at times, but
yeah,
bro, we saw the family hustle.
But I think the beef right now, because I think
we saw the hustle up close and personal, like for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
But I think one of the thing was someone said that he funny looking, his son, and T.I. didn't like that neither.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people said that. That's internet stuff, though.
But that's how he looked like his mother before she had the plastic surgery.
Yeah.
No, Mckenna, you praying? I'm sorry.
Mute yourself for a second, Tonia. But yeah, his son has been, it started off with I think I've seen a couple of videos, man, of him being in school and trying to fight people, and then of course the Waffle House incident where he tried to fight people, and I think Charleston, I didn't see the whole thing, but I think he was talking about how these rappers take on this persona to kill the community. They're talking about they out here, shoot, bang, sell drugs, and do all that other stuff, and expect for us to, to swallow that pill as a community. And of course, because T.I.'s son has been in the news about all this stuff. Because think about it, like he didn't talk about nobody. He didn't talk about none of his other sons. He talked about one specific because his other son is a whole rapper. He don't talk about him. He talk about the other son because the other son out here trying to act bad, trying to get this reputation of being this tough guy, whatever it is he wants to be, And now I will say this: as much as Charleston talk, he talks a lot about rappers. I don't care nothing about that, but you really got to be careful when you talk about people's kids. That's one of the things I don't. Everything else, I'll be with him. He's funny. he makes a lot of good points on a lot of other stuff, but you know, I don't believe in that. You know, talking all about my kids and stuff like that. So that's a little tidbit. Maybe we'll talk about him at a later time. But he's a very interesting guy. Very interesting guy. I think he got Soldier Boy arrested. he doesn't hesitate to say he'll snitch.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, he said, look, if y'all coming over here, he gonna do one or two things. If you come over here and you trying to fight him, he ain't gonna fight you. He gonna shoot you or call the police. That's it. Ain't no sugar coating. Ain't no in the middle. If you want to come at him and do whatever, he called the police. He said he got him on speed dial. So
someone please call 911, huh?
Someone call 911. But so listen, jump gear real quick. Got to give a shout out. So Jamaican born Victoria Horn was originally featured in the Times Square on the Morgan Stanley Billboard after becoming one of the 2022 capstone project winner in the Morgan Stanley Jumpstart leader program. So kudos, because I'm just saying, where is it? Where my camera at? She's on the bill. You can't really see it, but she's on the billboard in Times Square. So kudos to her. Jamaica, they've been doing it up. Shirley Lee Ralph, she was honored in Jamaica this week. I think one of the 5th highest honors that you can get. She was a recipient of that, as well as Shelly Ann Frazier. You know, she's one of the fastest women in the world in track. So kudos to us. Mckenna, you had something, because I have a question for you guys.
Well, go ahead with your question.
All right, so everyone know Young Jock from Georgia. He accidentally zailed the wrong person $1,800. The person has since blocked him. He has asked for his money back. So he said, "Hi, can you please return the $1,800 that I mistakenly sent to your account via Zelle? I don't know you, nor you don't know me. Please do the right thing. God has a bigger blessings for you. I know you blocked my number, and that's okay. I just need that $1,800 that I sent you via Zelle." He never got a response. So he went to social media. So he was like, "Can y'all please call this number and ask him to return my money?" So, Mckenna, Marcus, if someone Zelle you money accidentally, whether it's $5 or $1,800, would you return the money?
Off top, return. I've actually had that situation happen to me, where someone mistakenly sent me like $250 cash app, and I was like, and I was asleep all day, but I kept getting all these messages like somebody was like, can you please send my brother back his money? Please, he needs money, blah, 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 blah. I didn't see, and I woke up. I'm like, what's really going on? And at first, I was kind of like, should I return this one? It could be a scam. So I had to think about it. I tried to research, see if it's part of a scam, like people send you money, and then once you send the money back, then one of this, somehow they get a hold of your account.
Hold on one second, McKenna. Try to mute for a minute. The feedback.
And so I try to so after researching and stuff like that, I was just like, all right, I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and send the money back to him. So I sent the money back to him, and then I sent him $1, to be able to communicate with the person. I just said, look, Man, you got to be more careful next time. That I'm the person that would send it back, because I don't think a lot of people would have sent it back to you. So just be more careful next time. And that was it. But I don't believe in trying to take people's money, man. I'm the type of person. I'm very prideful. So money I don't earn, I have a hard time taking it, even if it's from friends. You know what I mean? So I definitely don't want to keep anyone's money. But of course, everybody ain't like that. So I do it off top.
Yeah, I've been in a similar situation where I've gotten some money on Cash App as well that wasn't for me, and you can go in there and cancel the request. So I went in there and just canceled the request, and the money went back to that person. But yeah, I think that those types of things you just have to be careful, because I believe in energy and karma. And like now, if I'm walking down the street and I see $20 on the ground, and that's mine, like, I might look around, then I got it. But if I know that this was an accident, and it's easy to make accidents, especially on Cash App, because you put in Tonia, there might be 15 Tonias, and you're looking at the picture and you're like, oh, I think that's the right one. It's easy to make that mistake, and people legitimately can make that mistake. So I think that is just being a good citizen to return that money. You get blessings all the time. Whether it's, oh, I pulled up to Chick-fil-A and there's no line today. Like, imagine that. Even though Chick-fil-A moves pretty fast, but there are all kinds of things that happen in your life that you get blessed for. So why intentionally create a situation where that negative energy could come back to you, and it might be even twice as uncomfortable? Like, anytime you cash out somebody, it's for a reason. Like, that person needs that money for something. And $250 might not be a lot to you. That might just be like, oh, I got $250. But that might be $250 that they needed to put on their rent so they don't get evicted. I mean, it could be for anything. So that type of situation, I'm with you, MG. That money goes back. But again, if I'm walking down the street and I see 20, that 20 is mine. There are certain situations that I would keep it, but not something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So y'all here at Let's Gripe, we are all kind-hearted people, and we do think about blessings, karmas, and what if it was you? So I'm the same way. I have twice since I've been in Georgia. I literally was coming out the grocery store and someone left their wristlet in the cart in the parking lot.
Who?
A wristlet is like a wallet. Women, it's like, but yeah, it's like a little purse, but you can put on your wrist, and not a handbag, but a wristlet. Sorry, Marcus, forgot. So I took it up and I walked back into the grocery store, and I went to customer service. I said, someone left their wallet in the cart. And she looked at me like, and I gave it to her. I walked out. I didn't care if whatever they did, I took it back in. They have cameras. If someone comes and say I left it in there and they pull the camera, they'll see I took it out, because I made sure when I took it out, I had it just like this, walking like this, gave it to her. So anything missing, they got to check with that cashier. There was another time, same thing. Again, I did the same thing. And they were really surprised, because what happened to me years ago, I was at the airport, I was traveling, and I went to Popeyes to get something to eat while I wait on my flight. And it was at night, Mckenna. When I tell y'all, I took my wallet out, paid for my stuff, took my wallet. Now, I'm putting it, with our handbag. I dropped it in my handbag. So I thought. I'm walking away to the side to wait for my food. And a man behind me said, excuse me, miss, you dropped your wallet. Credit cards, driver's license. I needed my driver's license for the car rental. I needed my credit card. I needed my money. And that wallet. That man could have not said anything to me and tried to slip it, that whatever. And at this time, I thought it went in my purse, and it didn't. And as I was walking away, he saw it and he said, "Excuse." From that, I said, that was my karma. I do unto others as I would like them to do for me. I reap what I sow. So there it go. I got it back. And that was after the incident with me turning in someone's wallet.
All
so
right, now.
That's why I would turn around and definitely give them back. Like you said, Marcus, yes, of course, I'm going to make sure it's not no fraud. You trying to get my info or whatever. We going to have to do this a different way. But once I verify that we good, I will send you back yours as well. So I'm with that too. Because like you said, you have to think about the blessings. So that person who got that $1,800, you might be $1,800 richer, but look how fast the $18 gonna go, number one. And you might don't even remember what you done did with that $1,800. And then when things starting to happen, unfold, and mess up around you, all you got to sit down and think about, what did I do to deserve this? Oh, maybe that $1,800 that I shouldn't have took. That's all I'm saying.
And think about this. I don't know if anybody knows about Young Jock, but he's on the radio. From my understanding, it's nationally syndicated now.
Yes, it is.
So he makes money. So you over here, and he said, "Hey, I just sent that money." How do you know he couldn't have sent you a couple of stacks back for the $1,800 that wasn't even yours, and all you had to do was turn it in?
Right. You could have sent that money back not knowing it was him. And then he probably would have still hit you up with some $200-300 because you send it back.
Yeah.
And then those blessings would just keep flowing.
Yep.
So the moral to the story is what? Do right and do
right.
Come to you.
Yep.
You know what they say? It's always right to do the right thing.
And now they got to change their number.
Twice.
Oh. That too.
Twice. Literally too. Twice.
I'm just saying.
They own it. They got people everywhere calling their number right. Their mama can't even get in touch with them right now.
So let me tell you. So social media, of course, we see ups and downs go through social media. But when I tell you these videos of these folks acting out in the stores, something got to give. Y'all just pray for me that I don't be in the store when these people literally now are throwing these folks stuff off the shelf. There was this one lady, I forgot what state it was, actually tore up a Dollar Tree. Literally threw all their stuff on the floor, stepped on it, everything. I'm just saying, I'm not running for cover, but if I pray that I'm never in a store when something like that happened, because something come my way.
So are these people just having meltdowns, or is this just vandalism? Like they are intentionally vandalizing a store?
Because they're not getting their way. That's what they're doing. I even saw a clip today, even in a Q-tip, and this was a white Karen. And this Karen probably about near 60, 70 years old.
And a who, Tonia?
A QT, Quick Trip.
Oh, okay.
For all the up northers who listening, that's a gas station. Why you had to call me out? Why we just gonna let it flow? We just don't let things slide over here.
MG was like, what you say now? Lean forward.
like Marcus, like no one really noticed. Really noticed. I mean, why you had to call me out, man?
They noticed. They were just gonna let you slide.
We do gotta send out some birthdays. So happy birthday to all the Libras who celebrating their birthday. Andrea G, she celebrated her birthday on what's that? Thursday, October 13th. Gotta give her a shout out. My sister, she celebrated her birthday on Saturday, October 15th. So big shout out to all the Libras in the house. Any birthday shout outs from you guys?
Shout out to my dad. His birthday was also on October 13th. And shout out to my nephew. His birthday was on October the 12th.
Happy birthday. Also, Carolyn did respond. She did also commented saying that some her father did send some money for her sister for her birthday, and the person actually refused to send the money back. So yeah, sorry to hear that, Carolyn. I know your father, he got blessed 10 folds because of that incident. So yeah, you guys just do the right thing. I just always say, if you don't want someone to do something to you, then don't do it to them or to do it to anyone.
So real quick, have you heard about this gun violence that's going on where there was a tragedy with a father who left the gun underneath the pillow and accidentally shot his 2-year-old. And then there was another similar situation, and that one just slips my memory, but it was about a week before. It's just really, really tragic when loss of life is accidental, by a gun. And we still call it violence because, it's not intentional violence, it's an accident. But I can only imagine how devastated that whole family is by this accident that occurred. I can't imagine what it would feel like to have accidentally shot and killed my own child. Like that type of trauma you wouldn't wish on anybody. And it's a long way back, from that dark place.
So why we have the gun under the pillow? And once you have a toddler, don't you put it up?
It depends on where you live at, and the conditions you live in. But the guy, he's charged with 2nd-degree murder. So to compound, you losing your child in such a tragic way, understanding that, to your point, Tonia, if you didn't put it up under the pillow, this wouldn't have happened. And that's been a spot for years for a lot of people. That's not uncommon at all. To have it up under your pillow. I know when the baby, used to sleep in the bed with us, that was all like of course my fear was always rolling over. Because I toss and turn at night. So my fear was always rolling over. And I'm kind of hyper vigilant about all that stuff. So but I pray for the young man, because it's, it's definitely, you hear about people who are killing toddlers, either leaving them in their cars or because they cry too much and do all this other stuff. And here you have a situation of a father who has a toddler in the bed with him, sleeping and doing everything you normally do, and maybe living in an area where he feels like he has to protect his family at all times. And you do something that people commonly do, and this accident and tragedy happens. So
and I guess forgive me for judging, but I'm just saying, even myself being a gun holder, when my nieces and nephew visit, especially because sometimes I will leave the gun on the table, take it out of my purse when I come home. There was a time I had the gun like underneath the bed. And I remember when I had my surgery and my niece came over and she was in the room with me. But I think the bullets was out. I think I took the bullets out. They had to be. But I don't recall if the bullets was out or not. But I remember she was in a room with me and she's playing. And I remember looking on the floor and seeing her on the floor because she was playing and she was like right by the bed. And I literally got so scared, and as much pain as I was in, I literally jumped up and I got the gun and I put it up. And I think from then I never left it out again. I have not put it back under the bed ever since, because that I wouldn't be able to live with myself. You know what I'm saying? For her to get a hold of it. And even my nieces and nephew that is older, they're teenagers. Like when they come over, it's never, I always, when they come and I think did I put it down? I'm going to check backtrack myself to make sure that it's not on the table. It's not in the living room on the coffee table, because I'm moving it, because accident happened. You know, I'm sometimes even afraid to handle it, that it goes off accidentally.
Yeah, and to MG, your point, that's a really good point. That's not an uncommon place for somebody to put their weapon. I mean, you see it on TV. People put their weapon under their pillow. Is it safe?
Well, it depends on your lifestyle as well.
Not
I used to live in. I lived in the hood. I used to live where, but I wouldn't sleep with it under my pillow. I might shoot my own self.
Yeah, I think it also speaks to the point too, is that maybe, you know, he might have slept, you know, 2 years with a gun up under the pillow before, you know, and nothing ever happened. You know what I mean? So it felt like it was a safe space. Of course, he's definitely wrong, especially, you know, because you never know what happens at night. And you know, people like you and I, Tonia, who are kind of, you know, hypervigilant about stuff like that, you know, about making mistakes, might not just, might not have been his mindset, because, you know, he had slept with that thing up under the pillow for so long. We don't know. But I just, you know, I think it's a tragic situation, because not only do you lose your young child, if you have any other kids, they're going to charge you with second-degree murder, and that's going to take you away from them too as well. And I don't know for how long, you know, that's going to happen. So it's just a sad situation all the way around.
Yeah, our condolences go out to that family, and as well as to other families who are dealing with losses. You know, our condolences. Carolyn, shout out to your sister. Happy birthday. We just need to keep each other close to us in a lot of things, because my girlfriend and I was talking yesterday. We've been talking about this on the show. Like, never in our life have we seen something this traumatic, so much deaths. We haven't seen this in a very long time. So, you know, the Powerhouse Radio, we celebrate in the family. Oh, we got a lot of Libras. All right, Powerhouse, Lady D, we got a lot of happy birthday. You know, wow. So can you imagine if you have like a whole family of like who birthdays are like back to back?
Ooh.
I would be mad. You know, it's Aries, Marcus. We want to celebrate ourselves. But yes, definitely. Happy birthday to the Powerhouse Radio family.
Yes.
For the ones that are celebrating, and the ones who are celebrating in heaven, happy birthday. Yes, so anyone that is celebrating a birthday out there, definitely happy birthday. We do thank you so much every week to join us. I get those texts every week. You guys not on? I'm looking for you guys. So thank you so much. Go ahead and click and like and share the Powerhouse Radio. But again, we do thank you so much for always listening to us and checking in and saying hello, that we know that you're there. Some of you guys don't do the chat, but it's okay. But we can see the number. So then we definitely appreciate you for supporting the powerhouseradio.com, as well as 89.1 FM and Let's Gripe, because we couldn't do it without them. So kudos to the baddies. Yes, online radio, the powerhouseradio.com. Big up to Lady D. So this is Tonia saying, see you next week.
And this is Mckenna. Y'all stay warm.
And this is MG. I'm trying to get that power bill lowered, dog.
So I'm going to call Georgia Power and Georgia Natural Gas. And if you also in another state, guys, call your local utility companies. They have these bills that you can get budget, discounted, fixed rate. So do that so you can stay warm this winter. So till next week, peace out.
Good night, everybody.
This is Tonia.
This is Mckenna. Peace out.
Y'all have a good one.
Here right now. If you're in your car, if you're at home, if you're on your phone, let's gripe, baby.
Driving home and you're feeling kind of tired. Hey, radio play the same thing every day, so you need a little switch in your life. Traffic got you jammed up every night. Tune in to Powerhouse. Wednesday, 7 to 9, you need to check them out. I promise I ain't trying to hype. The one good listen tonight, it might change your life. So what's the name of the show? When you need something to just ride to on the go. Or you might be home, so log on. You can even dial in on your phone. I promise that you're gonna love it. Just try it one time, it'll blow your mind. Now I'ma say it just one more time. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9. Let's gripe. Let's gripe. Let's gripe. Let's gripe.
You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean.
Victorious 89.1 WAKP. Your unity in the community station.